Hey y'all, I'm Mark Long, publisher of Waco Insider. In this episode of Your Waco Weekend, we're heading to a downtown alley where Sergio's food truck sits, seemingly untouched for months. It's a scene most people could walk past without a second thought, but it says plenty about Waco right now and what could be coming in the future. Alleyways always have their own stories. Storefronts are where the city cleans up for public view, but alleys, that's where the real life of a place spills out. Loading docks, dumpsters, cigarette butts from quick smoke breaks, crumpled beer cans from late night drinking sessions, and whatever else nobody bothers to hide. And this is true for the alley behind the 600 block of Austin Avenue, where Sergio's food truck is parked next to a picnic table in a concrete service bay, a tight back entrance cut into the building, and where everything is frozen in place as if the whole operation paused mid-sentence. But back in March on a Tuesday morning, this alley wasn't still at all. As reported by the Waco Bridge, longtime Waco restaurateur Sergio Garcia was preparing beans, rice, and barbacoa in his restaurant kitchen before stepping outside to his food truck. A plainclothes officer walked up while he was working and said, "You gotta come with us." And within 24 hours, he was across the border in Nuevo Laredo, the result of a decades-old deportation order that had never been enforced until that morning. Before everything ground to a halt, Sergio's food truck was part of downtown Waco's rhythm. Workers heading to offices, construction sites, and the nearby county and federal courthouses stopped for breakfast tacos like clockwork. And Garcia wasn't any newcomer either. He'd cooked in Waco for decades, owning El Siete Mares before opening his place on Austin Avenue, and even catered events for then-President George W. Bush's Western White House in Crawford. There's a photo of him with Bush to prove it. Garcia wasn't hiding from the law, and what happened to him wasn't the removal of a criminal from the streets, because by all accounts, he wasn't involved in violence or trafficking or anything close to it. He cooked for people. He employed people. He ran businesses that fed downtown workers, served families, and injected money into the local economy for over 35 years. Yet his case fits a pattern that's emerging across Texas. According to an analysis by the Texas Tribune, under the Biden administration, 42% of the people ICE picked up in Texas had no criminal convictions. Under the current administration, that share has climbed to 59%. In other words, most of the people ICE is arresting here now have no criminal record at all. And by July 2025, 1 out of every 4 ICE arrests in the entire country, 24%, now happens in Texas. So what happened in this alley wasn't an accident or a fault in the system. It's what immigration enforcement looks like when it accelerates. Broad, fast, and aimed at people who are a part of public life in the cities where they live. Garcia didn't disappear because he posed a danger. He disappeared because he fit into a growing category that the system now acts on without hesitation. Following Garcia's arrest and deportation, Waco has been quiet. No mass sweeps, no convoy of federal agents, nothing like the large-scale immigration operations in other parts of the country. So it could be easy to think the moment has passed and things are back to the way they were. But look at Charlotte, North Carolina. During a recent enforcement action called Operation Charlotte's Web, ICE and Border Patrol agents descended on neighborhoods so aggressively that even a Puerto Rican U.S. citizen was zip-tied and detained twice in 2 days. Schools emptied out, businesses closed, families stayed inside their homes. In 48 hours, everyday life in parts of the city shut down. That's what enforcement looks like when it moves from one-on-one cases to a full-court press. Charlotte isn't an anomaly. It's a preview of how fast the ground can shift when the system decides to act. On Sunday morning after Thanksgiving this year, I went grocery shopping at the H-E-B on Wooded Acres. Three Hispanic guys were in the checkout line next to mine with a week's worth of groceries in their basket, talking to each other in Spanish. The cashier and bagger in my line were young Hispanic women, moving quickly through the line, doing their jobs the way they do every day. Nothing unusual, nothing dramatic. Just another normal Waco moment, one of 1,000 that play out every day and keep the city running without fanfare. And I'm not saying anyone I saw that morning was undocumented, but I did wonder what it would be like for them if I suddenly decided to sweep through the store, when having a certain look or accent can be enough to draw the wrong kind of attention. That's not idle worry. Charlotte has already proven that. If the day ever comes when people like the ones I saw at H-E-B don't feel safe showing up, the effect on Waco will be immediate. Whole parts of the city's daily machinery will begin to stall out. Kitchens short-staffed, construction sites half-manned, stores without cashiers or stockers, businesses losing the customers who keep them open. These aren't abstract roles. They're the interactions that make the city function every single day. And removing them doesn't make us, or the city, any safer. As for Garcia, his wife joined him in Mexico last summer, and his daughters kept the food truck running for 6 more months before shutting it down at the end of September. Now it sits exactly where he last worked. A business stopped mid-sentence in an alley behind Austin Avenue. Looking at it, it's hard not to wonder how many other places in Waco could fall silent just as quickly, and whether that's a matter not of if, but when. That's it for this edition of your Waco Weekend. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And check out our full events calendar or sign up for our weekly events newsletter at wacoinsider.com. And until next time, keep it between the lines, y'all.